Welcome to the Presto Show, the number one rated pregame, intermission, postgame show this side of the Mississippi, south of the Arctic Circle, north of the equator, and west of Spain. I'm Russ, that's Anthony. Intern Andrew on the ones and twos. Bundy over doing pregame radio, but he will be here a little bit later on in the show to give us his keys to the game. Of course, we'll do predictions. But a lot to get into because tonight might not be, in the words of somebody from the Flyers organization a few minutes ago, the atmosphere tonight might not be quite as electric as it was against the Ducks. But I still expect a very raucous crowd. I'm seeing not a lot of Maple Leafs jerseys here, but I've seen more Maple Leafs jerseys than I saw Ducks the other night.
I was going to say, I've always felt, I don't think anything will match what we had Tuesday, but until the playoffs anyway. The Maple Leafs over the years have always been a spirited crowd, even when the Flyers weren't great, because, you do get some Toronto fans that travel well. They do travel well, and they come down and gets a little bit of back and forth, and I think you might have some of that tonight. Won't be as raucous, won't be as physical, I say, a game. You won't have the dirty Ducks in here. I think it'll be a little bit better than that, but it'll be a step down for sure in intensity, that's for sure. Yeah.
This Leafs team, by the way, very hard to make heads or tails about what they are.
They're not very good.
What their ceiling is going to be.
They're not very good.
There is a scenario where we could maybe see them getting on a heater late in the season, but they're definitely not what they expected to be.
No, that's for sure.
What is? I know what Super Troopers is. I've never watched Super Troopers. Miller Brad said this to me on the Russ Joy Show the other day. Find it on YouTube wherever you get your podcasts.
I don't know. You're asking me what Super Troopers is?
Hold on.
You're asking me what Super Troopers is?
Wasn't that also the name of an ABBA song?
Yes. Super Troopers. Yeah. Yes, that's Super Troopers is ABBA. Yes. So
I found the poster. I'm trying to decide which of these guys with a mustache I am. Hold on. Who do you think you are? I am. All right.
That's super. Here I was thinking it was the.
I got it.
It was the kids show, like a kids show, Super Troopers.
What the heck is a kids show, Super Troopers?
I was thinking in my head. I was assuming that this was reference to a kids show, but now that I see the poster that you got, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this movie.
Which Super Troopers guy am I? Can I please not be the one with the fattest face? Can I be like
the guy? I would bet it's one that's looking up at the guy's rear end.
I think that's a lady. That's definitely a lady.
A lady's rear end.
Okay. Not that I'm judging which gender's rear end you should look at.
Yes, that's the one I'm assuming he's referencing you.
So you think I'm this guy? This guy right here?
Yeah, that guy.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You don't think I'm this guy?
No.
No? This guy? No?
No.
That actually looks like your younger son.
It does look like Andrew.
That does. That looks like Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
actually looks a little bit like Intern.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit. Intern's, some years from now, different haircut, after he gets his head shaved by Bundy.
All right.
Yeah.
Back to hockey. I'm just getting you there before somebody goes into the chat and says, I thought this show was about hockey.
Yeah, I don't give a damn. I'll tell you what. All you whiny, people out there, oh, my God, they're not just talking about hockey every second. I'm gone Saturday, and I'm gone for the 2 games after it. Intern Andrew is taking over the show for the next 3 games beyond this one. So
you had to announce it? We were going to make a big thing like we fired you.
No, I am fired. I fired myself for the next 3 games. Intern Andrew will be taking this seat.
Okay.
While I go gallivant. They say the cover story is that I'm going to Austria and Spain for work.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to negotiate the deal for Greenland. So
that's what you're doing.
That's what I'm doing.
That's in Denmark, by the way.
I'm trying to find out.
That would be Denmark.
What?
The country that has claim to Greenland is Denmark.
I'm showing up to Greenland. I'm making Denmark show up.
Oh, got you.
Denmark has to they have to cross the water. If I have to cross the ocean, they have to cross the water from Denmark to Greenland, and that's where I'll meet them, and I'll negotiate the purchase of the country.
Sounds good.
I'm going to also make an offer to all the sheep. I think there are some sheep and some goats and some rams or something on the,
Yeah.
I'll make them an offer too.
Yeah.
Sell us your country, or I turn you into little meat lollipops. All right. let's talk about the game. I know that there was another thing that you wanted to do as well. You did the mid-season grades for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, I
We can
did.
get
I
into
put
that
a
as
I
well.
put a story out today. And I didn't do grades. I figured you would enjoy this as a former teacher.
Yeah.
Right. I had
I actually read most of the
Wow.
story, which is
Wow.
better than normal.
That is better than
I
normal.
have a lot going on during the day. I would like to read more of your stuff.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, so I broke it down into the top two groups were the dean's list, right, and then the honor roll, like the honor students. Then I went with the old teacher comments after that.
Yeah.
Remember the teacher comments?
Yeah. I think it was code number 3 was good participation, code 11 was excessive talking, and code 13 was disrupts others. Not that I got that was the ultimate paradox on every single report card I ever had. Good participation. I would actually get it's a pleasure to have in class, but then also excessive talking and disturbs others.
See, we never had that. Like that,
No?
I'm too old for that stuff. Yeah, no, there was no teacher comments back then, unless they were handwritten in on your report card.
Commenters over on YouTube, Facebook, and X, let us know what comments did you get on your report card as a kid?
So I did pleasure to have in class, which I always translated as teacher didn't have anything superlative to say about the kid and nothing bad to say about the kid either.
I can 1,000% confirm that is the case.
Right? I mean, that's what it
Because
is.
there was a year I was teaching high school, and we were told you need to have a comment for every kid. And I said, I'd rather not. And they were like, you really need to. And I said, please don't make me. And they said, you need to. So it was pleasure to have in class.
Right. Pleasure to
Except
have
for the ones that weren't.
Right. I mean, it is what it is. You would hope that every student is a pleasure to have in class. And if they're not, the parent should know before getting the report card that their kid is not a pleasure to have in class.
If your kid is a total dolt or a problem child, and the first time you find out is when that report card comes home, somebody has failed.
Right.
There's been a breakdown.
There's been a breakdown in communication. Right. So then it was. So I did the pleasure to have in class. Then I did trending upward, trending in the right direction, which I always said were like that's the students who maybe screwed up at the beginning of the. Fair enough. What if you were homeschooled? Trending upward or trending in the right direction was the students who maybe failed a test at the beginning of the year, missed a few homework assignments, but as you got toward the end of the semester, started to ramp up and get better, right? Yeah. So that's kind of what that was. That one. Then I had see me after class. And those are
I didn't get to the see me after class.
Yeah, I had see me after, and then I had the incompletes because they guys who didn't play enough to get a grade, and then I had those who dropped the class. I had 3 guys who dropped the class.
Okay.
So if we can go, if you want to go through.
I'm pulling it up.
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
Yeah. So where do you want to start?
I guess let's go in the order that you did the story.
Okay. So then Dean's list.
Dean's list. I've got it here.
I have it as well.
Do you want me to share it on the screen here or no?
Well, if you want, you can. Yeah. I mean,
maybe I'll pass. All right. Yeah. So your Dean's list was as follows.
Yeah.
Trevor Zegras.
Yep. Dan
Vladar.
Yep.
Christian Dvorak.
Yep.
Cam York.
Yes.
Rick Tocchet.
Yes.
Danny Briere.
Yes. Is it when you go through and look at each one, the justification is there to give them. Now, I did say that the most important part of Danny Briere's tenure as a general manager lies ahead of him, and it's the trickiest part, and that's where ultimately his success or failure as a general manager will be determined.
Yeah.
But for this season, and looking at this season and the first half of this season, how can you argue with the players that he brought into this team? Most of the guys on the Dean's list are guys that were brought in.
Oh, I don't like how that looks, so I'm going to
So it was when you look at Zegras, right? He traded for Zegras. He's been a star for the team.
Yep.
He signed Vladar.
Fair.
Right?
Yep.
Been a star for the team.
Yep.
Dvorak.
Yep.
Right, what was a great addition for this season.
Yep.
Okay. And then if you look at even other players like further down the list.
You want to go Noah Juleson?
Well, Juleson's whatever. I mean, but I'm saying like Gerbenkin, who you traded for in last March, and Carl Grunstrom, who you brought in.
Yeah.
And he's been...
That was the Ellis trade, right?
That was the Ryan, who, by the way, got traded
again
to Chicago. His contract got traded from San Jose to Chicago today.
You can definitely say Ryan Ellis was a more impactful Philadelphia Flyer than he ever was a San Jose Shark.
That is correct. That is correct.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if Ellis ended up playing for Chicago?
It's played for somebody, anybody. That contract could get traded 30 times.
You know what? I actually hope for the guy on a human level that he gets healthy enough that he can come back and play.
Yeah. Ain't happening.
I'm a nice guy.
Ain't happening.
I wish the best for people.
But yeah, but I mean, so with that being the parameter, should Briere be anywhere else other than the top of the class? This team?
Well, we're starting last offseason.
So yeah, I mean, I said the last 12 months is what I said. So I actually included dumping the salaries of Frost and Farabee as well.
Oh, then he's definitely Dean's List. Yeah.
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 Right? So, I looked at the last 12 months for Briere.
I think you have to say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. You know, again.
If you went back 18 months, I'd drop him about a tier or two because of the Lachenko pick. But, beyond that, yeah.
You're going to die on that hill.
Oh, I'm not going to die. I'm going to live.
No, you're not.
I'm going to live rent-free in your head, baby.
You're going to die on that hill. So awful.
Just wait till Jet is here as a 4C. It's going to be a great day, 4C. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
He'll be filling in for Noah Cates.
So, all right. Next group.
All right. Next group was what did you call it?
I called it Honors. It was the Honors group.
Yeah. By the way, the Tocchet thing, I think a lot of people would disagree about Dean's List, but
So here's the thing. So the Flyers, as Andrew pointed out last game,
yeah.
The first time that they've reached the halfway point in a season with 50 or more points since 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on pace for 102 points.
It's insane.
How do you not credit the coach for that?
The only people who I think at this point... okay, there are two groups. The people who believe that he is solely responsible for Michkov's drop and play this year, and the other group, which I think is an increasingly smaller number now, are the people who are like, you should have torn this thing down this year and gone after McKenna. I do think that the tank crew has largely abandoned ship.
I hope so.
But I would think that the group that still is very adamant about the tanking, they aren't happy with the job that Tocchet's doing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right, so the next group, are you announcing?
Next group, Honors.
Yeah.
Travis Konechny.
I knew that would be the one that would get you fired up.
Noah Cates. It's not going to be fired up. I like Travis Konechny on a human level. He was always nice when we were down in the locker room.
Yeah.
I like Travis Konechny.
Go ahead.
But Travis Konechny, Noah Cates, Travis Sanheim, Jamie Drysdale.
Yes. And I said in the story that the one that was closest to be bumped up to Dean's List out of that group was Drysdale. That's the one I would have got. I was debating, and the only reason I didn't put him there because I think that he has surprised even the team, and he's out tonight. Him and Brink not in the lineup tonight. Mishkov is back in the lineup tonight, and as is Juleson. Those guys are both in concussion protocol.
Yeah.
But the reason that I didn't put Drysdale in is because I feel like the one area that they kind of thought he'd be good at that he's not been was the power play quarterback.
Yeah.
But everything else, he has been sensational in comparison to what they thought he was going to be. His 5-on-5 play this year is leaps and bounds ahead of where it was a year ago.
That is correct.
And so, I thought about putting Drysdale on Dean's List. And the only thing that held him back was the lack of power play quarterback success.
Which I don't know is necessarily all his fault. It is interesting. I think if you asked people to be honest about it, I think even within the organization, if you got people off the record and asked, your choices are power play merchant, but makes your power play incredibly dangerous, but at 5-on-5, it's always shaky, or what he is now, where they'd rather impactful on the power play, but is like a legitimate even strength guy.
They'd rather have this guy. There's 100%.
And
100%.
I have to tell you, I think ultimately it is a better thing for this team to have that.
Yes, but you still need somebody to quarterback that power play. And they've tried several different guys, none of them with any type of success. That's where I worry about. Their power play needs to be better. There's just no question. And you need somebody at the point who can run it, and they don't have anybody right now. Drysdale probably will get another chance. He's got to prove it if he gets up there.
Yeah.
Sanheim, I mean, the only reason that he didn't make it that time, look, he's a Canadian Olympian, right? And that should tell you how good of a season that he's had and how good of a player that he is. And he's even surprised us. Remember, a couple years ago, we thought he was nothing more than a middle pair.
Yep.
And he's certainly a top pair defenseman now. There's no question about that. He's number one here. He's probably better as a number two, but he is certainly a top pair defenseman. The only thing that
he's eating up minutes almost as impressively as Intern Andrew eats tubular meats during the intermission.
Intern Andrew? You're the one who housed 3 of them in 5 minutes together.
I had a hat trick in the first period.
Holy cow.
Yeah, the other day.
You did?
I already had 2.
Did you tonight?
Yeah. I worked out before I came here, and I didn't eat.
That explains it.
That was why.
Okay. But the only thing I dinged Sanheim for is, and there was a short stretch in December where he went about 4 or 5 games where he had some turnovers that came back and bit the Flyers. They turn the puck over, leads to a goal. They end up losing the game. You lose a point on that because of that play. That was the only thing I dinged him for. Otherwise, he deserves to be there. Noah Cates, again, I think people are going to give him down ballot votes this year for Selke. Not top 2 or 3, but I think he gets 4 or 5.
Especially if the team ends up with over 100 points.
Yeah.
And the PK
is
top.
And he plays
against
the top lines on the other teams, and shuts down players. He's a plus 17, which is the best on the team.
He's kind of taken over the role that Couturier had for a long time in his career.
Yeah.
Which is also what got him the Selke.
Yes. Yeah. So I have him there. The only thing I dinged him for, maybe it was a little unfair, but the only thing I dinged him for is once Forster got hurt, that line struggled for a bit.
Correct.
And Cates was part of it. They couldn't figure it out. He has rebounded since then.
Yep.
So he definitely fits there. And so to Konechny, which I knew would be the one that got you shaking your head a little bit.
The Royal U.
Yeah. Well, you too. You're part of the Royal U in this case. He's a vital part of this team's success. Let's look at it plainly. Him on that top line with Zegras and Dvorak.
It's working.
It's working very well. Okay,
Yeah.
He's been a more than a point per game player for over a month now.
Yeah.
Does he turn the puck over a little bit too much? Yes.
Does he occasionally turn it over and cost you a point in overtime, which you held against Travis Sanheim? You didn't hold it.
He's not in the top of the class, is he?
Yeah, he's
right? Okay.
Well, you can't exactly have Konechny and a pleasure to have in class. He causes some mayhem and mischief and chirps.
Exactly.
So you have to drop him 2 levels on your.
No, he's in my second. He's not in the pleasure to have. He's in but he's also not Dean's list. He's in that honors group.
Yeah.
20 points in his last 18 games.
It's impressive.
If both he and Zegras stay on that point per game pace,
that'd be great.
Flyers are going to be in a really good spot at the end of the year.
Sure.
Right? So that's how I had that group.
Well, listen, the big thing, we talked about this how many times this year. It's there are just a few guys that you need to figure out a way to get them rolling in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
And I still would like to see Konechny be a guy who finds the back of the net more. That to me is the thing that unlocks a lot for this team. But I would assume if he remains on a line with Dvorak and Zegras, he's going to have plenty of opportunities to light the lamp.
For sure.
He just has to make the most of those opportunities.
For sure.
All right, pleasure to have in class. You had Bobby Brink.
Yep.
Carl Grunstrom, Nick Seeler, Emile Andre, Nick Delorier, and Noah Juleson.
I did. And do we have any questions of that? I mean, the only reason I put Delorier there is because you know what he is and you know what his role is. And when he's in the lineup, he usually drops the gloves, does something physical to kind of, try and jump the team, get the team jumping in the right direction. I'm fine with that. That's what a fourth line plugger is supposed to do, and that's what he does.
He should absolutely be a see me after class.
No, why?
Because he causes problems.
What problems?
He gets in fights. He hits people.
If you're looking at it
how do you call that a pleasure to have in class?
But he's doing what the teacher's instructing him to do, right? That's why he's a pleasure to have in class. If he was on another team, I'd want to see him after class. But if he's on the Flyers,
I think you could almost make a case that he should be in the incomplete.
Well,
because of the in and out of lineup as much as he is.
I put my cutoff at 15 games for that, and he's above that, so that's why I did.
All right.
Yeah.
Noah Juleson, that's an interesting one.
Again,
he does what's expected of him.
He was brought in to be a number 7 defenseman. He had to play more than that at the beginning of the year because of injuries. Did an okay job on the third pair, and now he's out of the lineup, but he's a quality NHL depth defenseman.
He's always ready.
And you can put him in the lineup, and he's not going to kill you. So that's why he fits that role.
Yeah.
Brink was my closest to putting higher. I think that there's a little bit more consistent offense in his game.
Yeah.
When he's on, he's really good. And I just think that there needs to be a little bit more consistency. If he gets that, I think he moves up a level to honors.
Yeah.
And, of course, Grunstrom, I think that was a big surprise that he came in and scored 7 goals. And
he's been...
16 games.
To do that on a fourth line, especially when the fourth line really wasn't producing much of anything of value.
Yeah. I mean, and we'll see how he goes the rest of the year. But if he finishes the year at 15 goals, how great is that for a fourth liner? Yeah, that's great, right?
Take that 100%.
So, that was my
Why stop at 15? Why not get to 20? You just never know.
That's right.
You never know.
That's right.
Trending in the right direction.
Yes.
Matvey Michkov, Rodrigo Abels, Sean Couturier, Nikita Grabenkin.
Yes. All four have played better hockey lately.
Okay.
Right? And that was kind of the idea here. Like, I didn't want to put them in the See Me After Class group because they've played better.
Yeah.
But there have been times during the year that all four could have been in the See Me After Class group.
Yeah.
But right now, I have them all trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
Mishkov certainly, he needs to score more goals, but 7 points in his last 10 games. He's admitted that he needs to, be in better shape during Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Yep.
He was on the ice and in the gym on both of those days. While everybody else was enjoying their holidays, Mishkov was working out. He's going to have that plan for February to get better. He's back in the lineup tonight after taking a shot off the foot and missing the game on Tuesday. New look third line with Cates and Grunstrom since Brink's out. So I think we'll see more out of him. Grabenkin, I think that there's still too much inconsistency with him. But when he's in the game and plays like he did the other night, he was great against the Ducks.
Yeah.
He was really, really good against the Ducks. When he plays that way, he's going to be a very valuable player. But he's got to play like that all the time, right? Or a majority of the time. Not everybody's going to have a great game every day, right? But he's got to play like that a majority of the time. He'll be a quality player. Abels, I think that he was a victim of playing on a bad fourth line early. Mm-hmm. And ever since he's played with Grunstrom and Grabenkin, that line has looked better. And he's looked better.
It's a better group.
Yeah, and look, I think ultimately the Flyers may replace him at the deadline with a depth center. But he then becomes a good depth forward because he can play either center or wing.
Yeah.
And if there's an injury, he can jump in and not kill you. And Couturier, he is what he is at this point, but he doesn't go on the ice and embarrass himself. He may not be as good as you want him to be. He may not be living up to his contract, but when he's on the ice, he's not embarrassing himself. He's still winning big face-offs. He's still killing penalties. He's still, a reliable to be in the right position kind of guy. Mm-hmm. So that's why I have him in the trending in the right direction, even though he's had stretches where you go, man, he just doesn't look like that guy anymore. And then he figures it out and gets going again. He's kind of up and down, but I put him in this group.
See Me After Class, you have Owen Tippett, Garnet Hathaway, and Sam Ersson.
Yeah, and for different reasons, right? So
See Me After the Class.
Like Owen Tippett, I wouldn't see him as I said, he's not failing. I mean, the guy's on pace for 50 points, right? Yeah. So he's not, and 26 goals. So he's not failing. He's failing. But he should be more than that.
He should be.
Right? So
I don't know if he is, though.
And you can, when you watch him play, you can see, and I said this, that you can see that there's an honor roll guy in there. And I'm sure the coaches have talked to him about it. He's maddening to watch because he should be better than he is.
Yes.
Now, right now he has 13 goals and 12 assists, right? So if he gets to
26 and 24.
Well, that's what I said that's what he's on pace for that. But if let's say he bumps that a little bit. Let's say he gets 30 goals and 65 points. Are you good with that for the season?
Depends on how they happen, because if they happen the way, if it's a relatively consistent bit of second half play, sure. But if it's like, he puts together 6 goals in 4 games and then he's, held off the score sheet for 10 games, then he comes back in and he gets, three like
streaky hockey players exist.
I know. I'm just
what
I'm
are you
saying
gonna do?
It really depends, and it also depends on the strength of the opponent. It depends on what the scores are. Like if he's getting the 5th goal in a game that you're already leading by 3, then I go like, all right, well, they were kind of meaningless goals, but sure, he filled it up. If you can get to a point, what I would like to see from Tippett is this. I would like to see a player whose mind is able to process the game at the same speed with which he skates. I don't know if we'll ever get there, right? Yeah. If he could get there, he'd be a really dangerous player. More consistency out of him, and being a guy that they could look to in a really important moment to find the back of the net.
Yeah.
I don't actually think that the volume matters as much. If you started seeing Tippett become a more clutch player, or become a guy who figures out a way to utilize that speed to become more of a setup guy, then we can have a conversation about it.
Okay, sounds good.
Garnet Hathaway.
Hathaway, I mean, obviously had a terrible first half of the season, but he ended it well. Those last 2 games against Edmonton and then the game against the Ducks, that's how he's supposed to play.
Here's the See Me After Class. I'll be the teacher. You be Garnet. Ready? Garnet, can you see me after class?
Sure.
6.5 hours later. Garnet, I had to let you know that while it has been nice to have you in AP Spanish, you actually didn't meet any of the prerequisites to being here, and also your family's moving to Siberia. So good seeing you, pal.
No, if he plays the way he played the last 2 games, and look, you probably can't do that every night, but there is value to that player who's out there creating havoc, hitting guys the way he's hitting them, providing energy on the fourth line, and he can kill penalties. Like, there is value to that player 12 minutes a game. There just is. But he has to play that way. He cannot play the way he played the first 33 games of the season. Cannot. Yeah. Absolutely zero cannot. And then the last guy, Sam Ersson, who I think is... Look, the Flyers are going to have their backup goalie play somewhere around 15, 17 games in the second half of the season. Those are important games. There's points to be won there. Yeah. You can't just like have it be a scheduled loss because of the backup goalie being in.
Correct.
He has to be better. And if he's not, the Flyers have to consider an alternative. That's it. I mean, that's the message that's got to be delivered to him. Right? And, and I don't know. I just lost my headset.
Oh, okay. Well, I still hear you.
I don't know what happened.
Let's jiggle the wires a little bit.
No.
Which one is he?
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. All
right.
We're
good.
This is gonna be the trade deadline. This is gonna be Danny and Jonesy welcoming Sam Ersson back from the Olympic break.
Oh no,
it's gonna be. There's Sam. Oh, Sam.
Oh, no.
Oh, Sam. It's okay. It's okay.
Funny how?
Well, he gets
funny.
What, funny like a clown?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
All right. We got to rush through these last ones. These are the incompletes. I'll say them if you don't have them ready.
Denver Barkey, Rasmus Ristolainen, Adam Ginning, Ty Murchison, Jacob. Was it Gaucher?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Barkey's been really impressive. His hockey IQ's off the charts, but he's only played 8 games, so I couldn't really give him a grade. But if he keeps playing like that, I mean,
he could. If he plays this over the course of the first half of the season, he's on a roll.
Yeah, for sure. Tocchet compared him to Connor Garland in Vancouver.
Really?
Yeah, and if he turns into Connor Garland, man, that's a home run.
Yeah.
Right? If that's the kind of player he becomes. Same thing with Risto.
It's going to be awesome when they get a first-round pick for Risto.
Yeah.
What a great day that's
not going to happen this year.
It might.
No, it's not.
You don't know that.
Yeah, no.
You don't know.
Maybe off-season. I wrote that in the story.
He doesn't know.
Again, only played 10 games so far, so not a lot. And then, Ginning and Murchison, they've surpassed that's why they were able to get rid of Zamula.
Yeah.
Because Ginning and Murchison passed them. They're number 8, number 9 on the depth chart. And those guys were, they provide decent depth in your organization. That's fine. And Gaucher is just a depth center. That's all.
Yeah, I don't remember him.
Yeah.
And then you have dropped the class.
Yeah.
Tyson Forster. I think that's unfair. He got hurt, but I get it.
But sometimes you have to drop the class because of illness or whatever, right? I mean, you drop the class.
A horrible scenario. Yeah. Okay. So Tyson Forster.
Well, I mean, look,
actually, Jet Lachenko's the one who didn't meet the prerequisites. That's, you know what? I take it back, Garnet Hathaway. You put your time in this league. That was unfair to you. Jet Lachenko.
Yeah, Luchenko, because, I mean, look, he was never going to be a full season player for this team this year, and he needs a full year in the AHL. And that's coming next year. Obviously, the Flyers got burned by the rule not taking place from the new CBA starting until next season, because otherwise he would have been on the Phantoms this year. So, yes, you're kind of a year behind there development-wise, but he'll be in the AHL next season, so he had to drop the class. And then, of course, Zamula, who, by the way, the best part about the Zamula thing is you got a free player for him. They traded him to Pittsburgh for Philip Tomasino, and then the Penguins couldn't sign him. Or couldn't get him. Not that they couldn't sign him. Couldn't get him.
His agent claims that Pittsburgh knew when they were trading for him that he wasn't going to report to the AHL. That's what the agent said after the fact. And then when he signed with Columbus, he was like, we made it known to Philly and to Pittsburgh, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah, I don't necessarily believe it either. Why would the Penguins give their chief rival in the division a free player who has NHL ability in Tomasino, right?
Just for funsies.
For funsies, and then waive the player to terminate his contract. Why not let the Flyers terminate his contract?
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
If Zamula were still here, what tier would you have had him in?
He would have been see me after class.
Okay, yeah,
for sure. So that was my report on Patterson today, and got us through the pregame of a game that not a ton to talk about.
there is.
No, but leading
What do you-
into the game.
Well, what do you think the biggest issue so far this season has been with the Leafs?
They don't play. They don't have great depth. Their defense is not very good. They've been playing better lately.
Would you say that the Scott Lawton trade has not worked out particularly well for the Leafs?
Well, it's not that it hasn't worked out well. I mean, he was hurt, earlier in the year. What are you going to do? I mean, you can't do anything about injury.
Yeah.
I don't sit here and say to you that Nikita Grabenkin has outplayed Scott Lawton, and oh, by the way, you have a first round. Do I think it's a good trade for the Flyers and not as good for the Leafs? Yes, but I'm not going to sit there and say it didn't work out for them because Lawton was hurt to start the year.
Yeah.
Bundy, welcome in.
I'll be honest with you. When I look at that trade now, it's a hideous trade for Toronto.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
It's an awful trade.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go back now and trade Grabenkin straight up for Lawton. On a deal trying to get rid of him. You wouldn't just give Grabenkin now.
Yeah.
They gave up first and Grabenkin.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's one of the worst trades. Nothing against Lawton. No disrespect.
Lovely guy.
But the return was insane for a fourth liner.
So what ends up happening is you can have a conversation after. Yeah.
It's my cousin.
That's great.
Good. Tell your cousin we'll catch him later.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I guess when you're trying to win a Stanley Cup, which is what they were trying to do last year,
Right.
They felt that Lawton was a piece that they needed.
Yeah.
So that's why they overpaid for him.
Did they ever overpay?
Yeah. So, but it is what it is. You got your keys, Bundy?
Yeah, let me get them for you here, guys. Hold on.
Bundy's keys to the game. This was turned into a new new segment on the show.
Three
like
keys to the game tonight, gentlemen. Number one, maintain defensive structure. The Flyers play a tight structured defensive game that forces opponents to work hard for their chances. Continuing this disciplined play will be essential to frustrating the Maple Leafs' skilled forwards, namely Austin Matthews. Number two, leverage home ice advantage. Philadelphia is solid on home ice with a 12-5-4 record. They need to use their momentum and the energy of the home crowd like they did versus Anaheim to put pressure on the visiting Maple Leafs early in this game. Toronto has lost each of its last 5 road games. And third and final, the power play. The Flyers' power play can be a difference maker if it starts clicking. Drawing penalties and converting on the man advantage could be the ultimate key to victory tonight. The Flyers' power play is at 15.38% on the season and needs desperately improving.
Okay.
So I'll start it off. I thought about taking the Leafs. Do you know the last time they scored more than 3 goals on the road was December 4th?
Yeah, it's been a bit.
I don't like the idea of them having to score 4 or more against Dan Vladar, so I'm going to go with the Flyers tonight. I'm seeing like a 4-2 game, empty netter, Flyers.
Okay. Andrew.
I'll take the Flyers 4-3.
All right. Very good. Bundy?
I'm going to go with the Flyers 3-2.
Yeah, that was my score, Bundy. Damn it. I have Flyers 3-2. I think this is a low-scoring game.
Yeah, I think it's low for some reason tonight. I don't know why,
well, I
but
just think that the beginning of the game is going to lack a little bit of energy. Coming off of the game the other night, emotional game, right? So I think it's going to be, and I think Vladar will keep them in it, and then I think that they will finally get it together late. So I have the Flyers 3-2. But we all have the Flyers, which is a good thing, right?
It can be.
Yeah.
We'll find out soon enough. Hey, we'll be back during first intermission, second intermission, and post-game. We have the StatCast up during the game. You can stay here.
And I have an announcement at the first intermission about a special guest joining the Snow the Goalie radio show next week.
All right.
Stay tuned. Come back in the first intermission. Talk to you soon. Welcome to the Press Row Show, the number one rated pregame and postgame show this side of the Mississippi, south of the Arctic Circle, north of the equator, west of Spain. Gentlemen, a 0-0 game after one period of play. I would say the most exciting thing to happen that period was the Scott Lawton tribute video. What a nice video the team put together for him.
Yeah, that's a very nice video. Nice tribute. He deserved it. He was here for
12 years.
10, 12 years.
That's
yeah.
insane.
So, I mean, yeah.
12 years.
Bundy, did that catch you off guard that it was 12 years? Because that shocked me. Like, I know he was here for a long time. I didn't realize it was 12 years.
Yeah, he was here for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think it was as sleepy a period as I think a lot of people in the comments are saying. Flyers had some chances. You know, Barkey had the breakaway. Dvorak had that shot right from the side that he was being checked as he shot it. Had an opportunity to score there. They had a couple other chances, a couple long shifts in the period. That fourth line had a great shift at one point. Like, there were some really good opportunities. They just didn't cash in. And
I agree. I
yeah.
wouldn't say it was an eventful first period, though. I thought they picked it up a little later in the period, but it was kind of sloppy on both sides of the ice. There was not a lot of great puck movement going on, and the shot totals were low in this period. So, but the Flyers did have the better of the opportunities and chances in this period. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, and then the one real chance I thought that Toronto had, Vladar made a hell of a save.
Unbelievable save.
Like that right pad save that he made, and I forget who it was that took the shot, but boy, oh boy, what
it was a redirection in front. Right?
Yeah, it was just a great save, right? So we're 0-0 after one. We kind of expected this, right? We talked about this before in the pregame show, that it was going to be a little bit less eventful than what happened here the other night.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you have a big emotional game like that. You worry about the hangover period, and maybe it was a little bit at the beginning, but I think the Flyers found their legs a little bit later in the period. And it's hard to redesign and duplicate that effort from the other night. It's just too emotional.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can't play with that level of emotion every night. It's just not. It's like really, really hard to do. To their credit, it's nothing. But you could look at it positively and say, hey, you didn't have a great period, but you came out of it tied. Or you could look at it negatively and say, man, we should have been up at least a goal in that period. After that period, man, that's a missed opportunity. So it depends on how you want to look at it.
Can I show you something that just warmed the cockles of my heart?
Oh, boy, here we go.
No, I mean, this is like a genuinely nice thing. I didn't realize this.
Yeah.
We'll give the credit. Brandon Summerman's the one who put the video out.
Okay.
You know how players can be superstitious and sometimes they're weird and they do weird things. Like, you're the last guy to leave the ice, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
So Summerman caught this pregame, said that every home game, when Vladar leaves the ice after, I guess, the pregame skate, he skates over to the tunnel. I'm trying to pull this up. I don't know why it won't pull up. He skates over. What the heck? What else is on the screen? Hold on. Oh, it's this thing. Sorry. There we go. And he goes over and he skates to his son, who I guess is over at the side tunnel, right? And does three like little head bumps with his son before the game. Isn't that sweet?
That's really cute.
That's a sweet thing. I think that's really nice. I mean, listen, people love Vladar as is, but then you see something like that, and it's like
these are things that never would have been allowed to happen 25 years ago.
What?
But no player would have
gone over it.
No,
oh, I think it's sweet.
It's lovely.
It is lovely.
Yeah,
I think it's nice.
Yeah.
So Bundy, pretty safe to say that you did not go over and tap your head on the glass to your kids as a player.
I just don't think it would have been. Would I have liked to now if I played today? Sure, if my little girls were there and I was, I would have. Yeah, but I don't want to say it was frowned upon. It just wasn't done. I didn't see it ever happen.
Yeah. Did your kids ever sit like right up against the glass?
I mean, you see guys now with their kids and they come up and they're waving their stick for like 30 seconds and warm up with their kids. Like, to me, that's not what it's all about. Come on, give your kid a whack if you see him, and then you skate by.
Oh, you're the best. You're the best. You're the best.
If you want to play with your kid, play with them at home.
There you go. Hey, by the way, so next Wednesday, we are doing Snow the Goalie Radio. I know, Russ, you're not there. Bundy, you may not be there.
I may not. No.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. So it might just be me. Maybe I'll get somebody to fill in as a co-host. But the Phantoms are sending us 2 players.
Yeah, I heard.
We're getting Carson Bjarnason and Oliver Bonk, who we checked in with both of them during Dev Camp. But, the Phantoms season has been going on. They're halfway through their year, and they're going to come down to Chickies and Pete's in Warrington, PA. next Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. So be sure to come see us out at Chickies and Pete's in Warrington and get an opportunity to meet both Carson Bjarnason and Oliver Bunk, who will be there for the hour. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, that location, too, is probably about 5 minutes from the Lehigh Valley Arena they play in, right?
It's not that close. It's not that close.
Everything in Pennsylvania is far for Bundy. Everything in New Jersey, I swear, is far for me. And then Anthony, most of the time, just gets to roll out of bed.
Now, I have
And
one
shove
that's
the Chickies
close.
in.
I
Have you
have
noticed that,
one
Bundy?
Chickies and Pete's
Bundy,
that's
we've
close.
done 10
We
Snow
haven't even done
radios.
Marlton yet. We've done Warrington twice. We've done the casino twice. We've done
Well, Marlton got
We
canceled
did
because
Northeast
of the
Philly.
home games.
We've done Northeast Philly twice.
Yeah.
We
Mar-
did one close to me one time. Didn't we? We did one near you, right?
The one
Was
in
Glassboro close to you, Bundy, or no?
no. The
No.
other Bordentown was about a half hour from him.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then Anthony, this is
Drexel Hill's the only one that's
Drexel
close to me. The second
and
closest
we were
one.
there twice,
The second closest one to me is South Philly
and we've done that one twice.
because the Flyers played at home those
So
days.
the point
those
still
days.
stands. It's all about Anthony, Bundy. We're just here for the ride. You know, you
Yep.
think you know a guy. You
Exactly.
do.
Yeah.
You know? Mr. Bigwig over here. All right. I guess now's probably a good time to bring in the mediator on this program, a guy everybody looks forward to seeing during the first intermission and second intermission. Of course, first intermission means it is time for intern Andrew's stat of the night.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Okay, so Travis Sanheim coming into this game riding a 2-game goal streak, something he's only done, I think, 3 or 4 times in his career. So keep an eye on him. Should he score again tonight, not only will it be his 60th career goal, it'll be the first time in his entire career that he's gotten a 3-game goal streak.
You ever scored in 3 straight games as a defenseman?
I scored. Someone would have to check this out, but I think it was my second or third year in the league. I think I had like 4 goals in 5 games or 5 goals in 6 games.
Wow.
But
Really?
I don't know if I had 3 in a row.
Was one of them like a multi-goal game kind of thing?
No, they were all 1 goal. We were on a Western Canada trip.
Okay.
And
I'll find it after this.
Yeah, see if you can dig that up, Andrew. I don't think I'm wrong, but I remember I scored. That was like the most I can remember in my career.
Okay. All right. I just
He's
think
got- he's got
it's
a-
rare for
a test.
defensemen to score 3 in a row.
And then for Toronto, Morgan Riley comes into this game with 92 career goals. I don't think he's going to hit 100 tonight, barring something unbelievable.
Who's that?
Morgan Riley.
Morgan Riley.
Okay.
So if and when he does eventually get to 100, he'll become the 4th Maple Leafs defenseman in team history to get 100 goals. The other one's Boreas Salming, Ian Turnbull, and Tim Horton.
Okay.
Tim Horton.
Yeah,
Horton.
He'll join that class.
I had no idea Tim Horton scored 100 goals, to be
Oh,
honest
me
with you.
neither.
I mean, I knew he played. I didn't know he scored 100 goals. That's
Good
for him.
donuts. Makes
Yeah.
great donuts.
great donuts.
I've yet to have any.
Really? You've never had a Tim Horton
No, we
donut?
talked about doing a show down in Voorhees before, and then we were going to hit up the Tim Hortons. We never did.
Yeah, we got to go. Like Tim Hortons.
I'm waiting for you guys before I have Tim Hortons.
Maple glaze, man. That donut is
That's dynamite.
that's dynamite. Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
How do you say the city that the Maple Leafs play in? How do you say the name of the city?
Toronto.
Toronto.
Say it again.
Toronto.
One more?
Do I have to say it 3 times?
Yeah, I'm
Toronto.
Okay.
Toronto.
Toronto.
That's wrong.
It was the hard.
Okay.
It was the.
They put the hard T on. That's
Yeah,
wrong.
I've actually heard Toronto.
they do that
Toronto.
up there. They kind of like it comes out fast.
I work with a few Canadian
Yeah.
companies, and so they said it so many times that I've always.
Yeah,
I've probably.
they say it so fast, like the second you don't hear it.
Yeah, it's almost like Toronto.
Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they say it that way up in
At least you didn't say Toronto. How did you say it?
I said Toronto.
No, he did say Toronto.
Yeah, he made it.
Toronto.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, intern. Very well done.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
For those who missed it pregame, intern Andrew will be in the lead chair. He'll be the guy getting you guys in and out for the next 3 games.
Yeah.
yeah.
Pretty big deal.
Hey, Bundy, Ryan A. mentions this, and you never tell us when you do these, so we always find out from other people. Says you were great on Kipper and Bourne.
Yeah, I went on today on the Fan 590 at 4:30.
Yeah.
Spent 20 minutes with them. Just talk about the Flyers. Toronto, I told them how bad the trade was that they made at the deadline because they asked me about Grabenkin.
Yeah.
And I said, I hate to tell you this, guys. He goes, but you wouldn't have traded him 1-for-1 right now for him.
That's
So,
great.
Yeah, it was
That's
good.
great.
It was Kipper's a good guy, and I
Yeah.
enjoyed going on their show. So
Yeah.
I ran into him in Toronto.
Yeah.
A few months ago.
Yeah. Did you play against him?
Yeah, I did.
You did, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he was with the Rangers for a little bit when I got here, and I can't think of in Toronto, I guess, after that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So
Yeah.
you had 4 and 7 in 1995. That's the closest thing that I can
There
find.
he is.
That
You
was
had
it.
2 against Pittsburgh, and then the Western Canada trip you're thinking of. You had 1 at Edmonton and 1 at Vancouver.
Okay.
There you go.
4 and 7. There you go.
Okay. There you go. I was hot.
You really were.
I was on 45 goal pace at that point.
The fact that you remember that stuff, though, it's fascinating to me. That's
Yeah.
fascinating to me. That's great. That's great. Oh, man. Anyway, so, Bundy, pregame, we did, I gave out, I want to run these. We don't have to go into the specifics, but I want to run these by you.
Yep.
And see if you agree. So I did today, prior to today's game, they were, halfway point of the season. So I did a big story on Patterson.
I read it. I read that.
Oh, okay.
I
so,
retweeted it.
yeah. Oh, that's right. You did. That's
you.
Yeah.
We
so I just
both
wanted
we read something this guy wrote.
That's great. It's awesome. I love it.
I mean,
Brevity
was never Anthony's friend.
No, I'm not. I don't write short. I write long form. But I wanted to see if you kind of agreed. So Dean's list, I had Zegras, Vladar, Dvorak, York, Tocchet, Briere.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. All right. Good. Then I had the honor roll: Konechny, Cates, Sanheim, Drysdale.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
with that? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Pleasure to have in class. These are just kind of the guys that just do their job. Nothing fancy, nothing good, like super good, nothing super bad, just kind of do their job. Bobby Brink, Carl Grunstrom, Nick Seeler, Emile Andre, Nick Delorier, and Noah Juleson.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah, they're just good players. Yeah.
Good players do their job, right?
Yeah.
Then I went trending in the right direction. Maybe got off to a bad start to the year, but have played better lately.
Mm-hmm.
Mishkov, Rodrigo Abels, Couturier, and Grabenko.
I would put Couturier up at the next level.
Would you?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Up to pleasure to have in class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then with an opportunity to move up to the next tier.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. And then see me after class. Owen Tippett, Garnet Hathaway, Sam Hurst.
I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other guys were incompletes,
Right.
or not graded. So all right. So good. I'm glad that I got pretty good grade on that. Especially since the last time Bundy and I had a conversation about hockey grades, he had some words for me.
Yeah. Was that back
I
in
read
his
it,
playing days?
got my name in it, yeah. Gave me a brutal C.
He gave you a C.
I did.
You go out and try to skate with Yager every night.
Chewed me out in the locker room that year. It was 03-04.
Yeah.
It was mid-season 03-04. I gotta dig up the article and see exactly what I said about him. I swear to you, I remember no other grades I handed out that year because Bundy was the only one who challenged me on the grade that I gave him. And that's what I remember. I remember Bundy yelling at me in the locker room.
Go back to 03-04 and defend the other team's top line every night and play for Hitchcock.
Yeah. So good. But anyway. What are you doing over there, Russell?
I was looking to see if I could find the article.
You're not going to be able to find it because the Delaware County Times, for whatever reason, eliminated their online archive prior to, I want to say, 2018, 2017, something like that. So anything written prior to that does not exist online. The
Prior
only
to what
place-
year?
I say 2017,
No,
2018.
I see something here from 2008.
No
Did you say the
shot.
03-04 season?
Yeah.
Bundy was a +6 that year.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was the year he got
Here's
traded.
Delco Times. Look, Therien will replace Prop as radio analyst August 9th, 2008.
Oh.
So it's there somewhere.
Yeah, good
We'll
luck.
find it.
Good luck. You have to go to the Wayback Machine. Maybe they have the sometime in January of 04.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'd have to find it.
I might make that my my thing to do in the next intermission.
All right, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I'll reach out to the Delaware County Times.
Newspapers are having a rough go. I saw the Post-Gazette is
Did
done,
you see that Pittsburgh Post-Gazette is going away? Not even a digital form. They're just shutting down.
The Atlanta
everything.
Journal-Constitution got rid of their paper.
Yeah, but at
Their
least
paper, but they're doing digital.
At least they exist.
So Pittsburgh got rid of everything?
Everything.
Post-Gazette is shutting
Wow.
down in May, at the end of May. May 31st is their last edition.
That feels crazy.
Yeah, I mean the Tribune Review is still going to be there. They're a two-paper town, so kind of like with Philadelphia used to be a two-paper town, used to be a three-paper town if you go back far enough to the Bulletin. But the Daily News kind of sort of is not really in existence anymore. So it's really just the Inquirer ever since they merged the two together. While in Pittsburgh, two paper town, Post Gazette is gone. Tribune Review still remains.
That's crazy. It's actually kind of sad.
It is.
The
People
written
lose their jobs and stuff. It is. It's a
I
shame.
think it's actually. I think it's even just more so like the state of media now that they've got that the local. I don't know. Maybe I was lucky. Like the Pottsville Republican and Evening Herald wasn't a particularly great paper when I was a kid. No offense to the people who wrote for it then and all the people who write for it now. But like we had a local paper.
Yeah.
And like even now, I'm like in the area that I live in. I think Pottstown Mercury is still a thing.
It is, but barely.
But it's the same idea, and it's like it's not really local to my area.
Get ready.
It's
The
a few towns away.
Therien News Network is coming your way.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Where's there going to be
We'll talk about it. I don't want to say anything publicly because it's not public yet.
Oh, okay.
But they're coming your way.
Are they going to be there to cover the opening of the Sheets in February?
Not that quick.
I'm going to pick it. I'm
Not
going to be
that.
outside of that Sheets when it opens in Limerick.
Not that quick.
Come on out and have a. You see that one of the Sheets family members passed away this week at like age 77.
Really?
Sad. Yeah.
That's a sad day.
Yeah.
It's a sad day.
But I'll tell you what, I'll get like a double meat hoagie to honor the guy. Although
There
we
you
call it a sub. So
Yeah.
anyway.
They're not from Philly.
So, Bundy, as the Flyers look to try to get on the board here in the second period, what's the one thing they need to do better in this period?
Finish. They just didn't have any finish. They had chances that period. They just didn't close out the gap in front of the net. I think that would be the only thing. I think they're making good plays to the front of the net. They're attacking the middle of the ice, but they just need a little bit more touch on it, on their finish.
All right, we will be back during the second intermission and post-game here on the Press Row Show. If you haven't done so already, like the video, share the video, subscribe. Intern Andrew will have his trivia in the second intermission. We'll bring some hilarity and some analysis of tonight's game as the Flyers take on the Maple Leafs, and hopefully they will go into the next intermission with a lead. We'll talk to each and every one of you in the second intermission here on the Press Row Show. Oh, welcome to the Press Row Show, the number one rated pregame intermission postgame show this side of the Mississippi, south of the Arctic Circle, north of the equator, and west of Barcelona. Greetings, everybody. It is the second intermission, and I believe that in the first intermission I asked Bundy, what is the thing the Flyers have to do in that period to be better? And he said finish, and very early in that period, finish the Flyers did.
Travis Konechny with a beautiful pass by Dvorak right out into the slot. He was corked and ready to shoot the puck, and that's exactly what he did. He got it up high, threw over maybe a little bit of a screen, and that gave the Flyers a 1-0 lead. And that's where we sit, 1-0 Flyers after 2 periods.
Yeah, and it was just a little bit of room, right? He didn't have that much room for that shot, but Dvorak gave it to him anyway. He was between 2 Maple Leafs, and I think it was Sanheim who was the screener,
it was
the screener in front.
Okay.
Yeah, which was, he was down low on the play. It was a good shot, good play. But not a lot. I thought there were more opportunities in the first period than there were in the second.
I agree.
Right?
I agree, yes.
Toronto did have that really golden grade A opportunity with about 30 seconds left in that period.
It sounds
had Vladar on the other post and everything.
Yeah,
like wide open net.
Fanned on the shot, huh?
Yeah, there's not a lot of space out there tonight, though. I mean, it's a low shot total for both teams. It's a defensive grind in a lot of ways. There's not a lot of space down low when they're cycling. Both teams have played very well so far in terms of their defensive structure and the way they're playing the game.
It's coaching.
It's coaching.
I mean, seriously.
Both sides,
yeah, people might not want to hear that, but it's coaching. Your cousin's doing a selfie. No, I think he wants you on the microphone, Russ. I think he wants to. I love how he just walks off the show.
Go see his cousin. He just literally picked up and left to go say hi to his cousin.
Like the cousin. So his cousin's standing there and wants to do a selfie with Russ behind the microphone, like of him and behind the ropes over there, and Russ over here, and Russ just up and walks off.
Cousin's bald as an eagle, but he looked
Andrew,
like he'd have nice head of hair
put yourself on the screen.
Why
yourself on the screen.
Why didn't they just do this during the period?
Yeah,
like that would be just too easy.
Right, that would have been easy, right?
He's just having a casual conversation.
Yeah, like it's no big deal. Like never mind the fact that he's supposed to be hosting a show right now.
Hey, man, good to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, like where were he waved
How's
pregame.
Lisa doing?
Yeah, he waved pregame, right? He waved pregame, so you would have thought Russ would have tracked him down, and between periods they would have caught up. That's usually what happens. No, he just walks off. I think we should just replace him with you permanently.
Nah, I don't know about that. Maybe.
He's still just having a combo over there.
Yeah, no big deal. Just gonna go, whatever.
How have you guys been?
Yeah, that's right. Blame us. Oh man, that's great. Yeah, see me after class. Somebody said, see me after class. Linda Joseph said, see Aunt after class, Russ.
I haven't seen, so this cousin, cousin Damien, I haven't seen him since I was a wee little kid.
Really?
Yeah, he is like a spitting image of his dad. His dad was one of the nicest people. His dad passed when I was really little.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it was like when I was 4 or 5, and I still remember his dad like vividly. Such a great human being. So I haven't seen him since, I don't know. I had to be teeny tiny. So it's cool to see him.
He must not really notice much difference with you now between when you were teeny tiny and now.
There it is.
You probably only grew a couple inches, right?
That's probably fair. Yes. I walked right into that.
You walked right into
that
it.
was like a Dvorak to Konechny setup right there. That was pretty good.
That's funny.
Do you know
that's
those
funny.
people that have just waved at you?
No,
Anthony?
I don't know them at all.
Oh,
They're just people who like waving to us. I wave to everybody who waves to us, especially little kids.
You gotta wave at little kids.
Look how cute she is.
I know.
Absolutely, you wave to the little kids.
You wave to the kids. Everybody's having a nice time out here tonight. I will say, it's not the same kind of like raucous, like out for blood crowd that we had for the Ducks game. It's been a quieter crowd tonight, but I would say that like they're getting up for the big moments.
They are.
It's not like a sleepy crowd, I guess is my point.
No, it's a good crowd tonight. They're into the game. It's packed again, which is great to see. And the fans are into it. They just haven't had a whole ton of goals to cheer for. That's all. It's been a tight defensive battle.
Yeah. I guess now we should go out to intern.
For trivia.
Intern Andrew. Gentlemen, prepare those instruments. You guys you're going to be a duo. You're going to have to figure out how to reconfigure the instrumentation.
Guess what? We've done it before, Russ.
Yeah,
I believe in you. I believe in you. All right, ready?
Boom, 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 ching, 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 ching.
I went with Sesame Street there.
That was one of our better ones.
Yeah.
It sure was, Bundy. It sure was.
Okay, hurry up with the trivia. Let's go.
All right, sorry.
Pretty low bar, I guess.
All right, so the Flyers and Maple Leafs in total have played each other in the playoffs 6 series. The Flyers have won 5 of the 6.
Yes.
During that span, 3 Flyers players have a playoff hat trick against the Maple Leafs.
Wow.
I'll give you the years just to narrow it down for you. 75, 76, and 04. You name those 3 players.
Mark Recchi?
No.
Not Mark Recchi. Okay.
Was
Keith Primo?
Primo was 04.
Yeah.
Okay.
Primo was the 04
Was game
one.
5.
75 and 76.
Reggie Leach.
No.
Oh,
No.
he scored 19 goals in 76.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I thought that was a good one.
Bill Barber?
Nope.
Ross Lonsberry.
No.
Oh, man. Wow.
Was it Bob Clark?
No.
Wow. 75, 76.
75 and 76.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 2 separate years.
Gary Dornhofer.
No.
Wow.
A couple people in the chat have gotten 1.
I've been naming like guys who scored for them.
Just trying to think of who else had scored goals for them.
They're both forwards.
Both forwards. Okay, so all right.
Who was the guy that he passed away a few years ago? Come on, I got a brain cramp right now. From the Peterborough area, my grandmother and them were huge fans of him. He's from like Lindsay, Ontario, because I know Rick McLeish.
That is correct.
Rick McLeish.
There you go. Rick McLeish. Okay.
He was game 1 of 75.
All right.
That was their first playoff game that year.
Okay.
We said Leach. It's not Leach, which is surprising because he loaded him up.
Right. No, not him.
Don Selesky.
That is correct.
Get out of town.
It's not even in the comments. Good job, Anthony.
What a great guess. Yeah. Wow.
Game 5 in 76. He had a hat trick.
How about
How
that?
about that?
How about that? I just was pulling forwards out from that team. It's like, and I was guessing that only because it was unexpected because he was like a third line guy.
Yeah.
You know, for them.
I mean, I guess the next guy we were going to yell out is Hound.
The Hound, right? I mean, yeah, he didn't score many. You weren't going Schultz because I know he didn't score a hat trick in the playoffs. Like I was running out of guys to guess. So
you got it though.
Yeah,
good for you guys. Good
How
job.
about that? How about that? That's a good question. That's a good question.
Stuff.
Thank you.
3 hat tricks, huh? Those Maple Leaf series were a war.
Yeah, they were brutal.
That you guys played. Well, you played in the one.
I played in the one. Yeah.
Yeah. Was just absolute wars. They were unbelievable.
We had we lost to Toronto in game 6 in Toronto and played the next night for game 7 back in Toronto, and we ended up beating them
6-1.
6-0 or 6-1, something like that.
Yeah, you blew them out.
Yeah.
But the first 6 games of that series were unbelievably tough.
They were tough and rough games,
Yeah. That's why you had nothing left for Ottawa.
Yeah, I played them, and I was in the series where we lost to Toronto, too, in 1999.
Yeah.
We gave up 9 goals against in 6 games, and we lost the series.
Yeah. I almost made the question about game 6, but I figured it'd be too obvious.
Well, the Roenick?
No. Game 6 in 99.
Oh, that one. Oh, okay.
It was 1-0.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It was a Leclerc reverse checked Sergei Berezin, and got a penalty, and that ended the game. They went on the power play and won in the power play with like a minute left.
He was the one that scored.
He was, yeah.
So I figured you would get that one right away, so I had to change it.
Intern, do you have a favorite song by Fish?
I don't know any other songs.
I don't either.
I don't either.
I don't even know one song by Fish.
No, neither do I.
So we are unanimously not Fish fans.
No.
No, not at all.
I'll make the admission that I did to you. When I heard Fish, I thought of like the ska band Real Big Fish. This whole time okay. I don't know.
I get it. Like I know their lead singer's named Trey Anastasio, and I know that he's a huge Flyers fan.
Yeah, the big Flyer fan.
And so like that's got to be the reason why
Is he
this
here?
happens.
Is he in the building?
They didn't show him on the screen.
I sat and had dinner with them one night at John LeClair's golf tournament back in the mid to late 90s.
Really?
They were at my table. Yeah, I had no idea who they were.
I know they're a jam band, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Well, they're kind of like the Grateful Dead's
Yeah.
twin little brother, right? Kind of.
yeah.
Right.
But I don't know anything else.
So
other
it's a
than
stoner band.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's why the crowd is so quiet.
Yeah.
Again, they're getting up for the big moments. They're just what?
Maybe that's why the crowd's so quiet.
Yeah, they're just
They're just mellow
Perhaps-
and relaxing.
perhaps they were partaking in some things before the game.
That's what I'm laughing at.
Some
yeah.
of the fine folks in the arena, not all of them. Certainly not the children. Preferably not the parents of the children either. You never know, do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, intern, thank you. Very nice trivia tonight.
Sure.
What a guy.
Yeah, it was
What a
good.
guy that intern answered.
That was good.
Good trivia.
He told me he gets nervous when he hosts the show.
He does a great job.
He does a really nice
So
job.
you know what
Can
it
you
is?
guys- Can you guys put?
You know what it
You got to
is.
coach him up.
You know what he has.
What does he have?
And it's good because he has that just enough nervous energy that like you need when you need to perform,
Yeah.
but not too far that you get stage fright. Does that make sense?
So he's like nervous. It's good that he's nervous.
It's good nerves.
Because then he won't screw up.
Yes.
Like then he won't make a terrible, catastrophic blunder.
Correct. Correct.
See, I dial myself in. That's why when I gave that Seth Jarvis stat, you guys swore that I was Hurricanes fan, just because I was like so locked into my research, because I had to make sure it sounded like I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And mom says he gets it from her.
Certainly, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's a performer, so there you go.
Yeah, I mean,
I expect the comment section to be very nice to intern Andrew.
my dad's pretty confident under pressure as well. I'll give him
Yeah.
credit for that.
Yeah.
He
That's
was
good.
Secret Service for 30 years.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point.
Good point.
It's a good point.
So, anyway, we got to kill another 5 minutes
Is
here.
there anybody in the league that's had a more disappointing run this year than Austin Matthews?
Well, he's played well lately, but
But on the season on the whole, it's not been at his standard, and especially once Marner left, I think people looked at Matthews as being a guy who had to take his game to another level, and it
Yeah.
really hasn't really happened over the course of the entire first half of the season.
yeah, and it's and again, you lose the guy, you lose 100 points in your lineup. You can't make that up with another guy unless you find another 100-point player, but that's not to be, so that adds added pressure to him. I was just thinking of teams that were in the playoffs last year that it will not make the playoffs this year, and Toronto's one of them. But the other team that's been we talked about them a little bit the other night. The big disappointment has been the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah.
They're a train wreck. For whatever reason, they just I thought they were the worst playoff team in the league last year that made the playoffs, and they looked like it playing Carolina in the first round.
Well, that game against the Islanders the other night was absolutely absurd.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they got flat out embarrassed.
Yeah.
What am I looking at? What?
This is getting wilder.
Man! All right,
This
hold
is
on.
getting
I'm gonna
wilder.
pull up the statement. All right,
What
so
do you got?
So we were going to talk about this maybe post game, but now is a good time to bring it up. Maybe we'll talk about it more post game. So there was a thing going around on a Twitter account that was created a week ago, and it claimed that Ullmark, the goalie from Ottawa, cheated. Now none of this is true. Okay, the report on this account is that Ullmark cheated on his wife, and then in admitting that to his wife, he said that a bunch of his teammates also cheated on their wives. All while this is going on, it was reported that Ullmark was on personal leave, which I think is actually true.
It is correct, yes.
But this has permeated social media so much that the Ottawa Senators have now released a statement about it. I'm going to pull the statement up here.
Yeah.
This is how crazy a story that, they're claiming it's a fabricated story. You obviously want to believe it's a fabricated story. Here is the Senators' statement about this Ullmark thing. Says, our organization was extremely disappointed to read the completely fabricated and false stories that are spreading around social media about our hockey club. Linus is away from our team for personal reasons, and he has the entire organization's support. We asked that people respect his privacy, but clearly that request was not heard by the lowest forms of trolls and sick people who scour the internet. We are disgusted that outside forces are attempting to disrupt our hockey club. This statement will put an end to the ridiculous speculation that has spread online.
That's
That
from
was
Steve Stais.
Okay, so it's true then. Sure sounds like it. You put out a statement like that? That's unbelievable.
Can you believe that that's the statement that they
That
put
is
out?
a statement they put out. That is
A
unbelievable. I mean,
professional sports team put that statement out.
am I reading like a Saturday Night Live skit?
But clearly the request was not heard by the lowest forms of trolls and sick people who scour the internet. We are disgusted, so disgusted. You know, we've seen a lot of trolls, haven't we, folks? We've seen many trolls, including, and not limited to, a lot of horrible people.
Now, we do want to say that as a group, we're having fun and we're joking. Hopefully, whatever Omar is out for personal reasons is okay.
Of
Yeah.
course.
It's
We
in a
hope
serious
he's fine
situation.
and everything. Yeah.
Just for the sake of
For sure.
But that is
that
a
was a
wild
Could you
statement.
imagine when those rumors were going around about Brindamore and Lindros if Bob Clark had to put out a statement about that?
Oh, yeah.
Like that's what this is.
Yeah, that's another rumor that
Totally
is a
ridiculous, right?
rumor of all rumors.
Right? Totally untrue. But
Yeah.
it would be like Bob Clark putting out a statement like this about that. That's
Yeah.
what this is.
Yeah. Believe me, if any of those rumors were true, I'd have known about
You
it.
would have absolutely known about it. You would have absolutely known about it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's wild. That's absolutely
What a
wild.
statement that is.
I know, right?
That's one of the craziest statements I think I've ever seen
Yes.
from a professional team.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Absolutely wild stuff. What are you laughing about? What's so funny, giggly bits?
He's watching the football game over there.
Oh,
it's
That
Oh,
comment.
the
Oh,
Bedard-
Remember that one from a couple years ago?
Bedard's mom. Yeah, that was
One year we had
Corey
somebody.
Perry.
We were out as a team one night, just at a bar,
Yeah.
and we had one of the guys in the team that went back and told his wife that we were all out at a bar one night. That's a no-no. You just shut your pie hole.
Yeah.
Right? It's a team function, and you be quiet.
Yes, exactly.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly right.
Here's an image of the people that wrote that salacious claim. So we have located them. We're helping the Ottawa Senators organization. That's what we're here for.
There we go.
Wow, what a wild thing.
That is wild. That is wild. All right, we got 10
Trolls,
seconds
the
before the
lowest
period
trolls.
starts here.
All
So-
right, we'll be back post-game here on the Press Row Show. See if the Flyers can hang on and close this one out. We'll talk to all of you post-game here on the Press Row Show. Welcome into the Press Row Show, the number one rated pregame, intermission, postgame show this side of the Mississippi, south of the Arctic Circle, north of the equator, and west of Barcelona. Oh, man. 6 minutes or so left in regulation. It looked like the Flyers were going to win a very sleepy 1-0 game. Flyers end up with a 5-on-3. Can't convert. Then with 3 seconds remaining on the penalty kill, Scott Lawton sticks the dagger into the heart of his former team, ties the game at 1. Flyers get a few more opportunities and then goes to overtime. And guys, it was a very uncharacteristically high energy, frenetic, sloppy overtime for a Flyers team that has shown composure in the extra period pretty much every time they've been in it this year.
Yeah.
Both teams are pretty sloppy, right?
It was a crazy overtime. I mean, there was
was.
not a lot of defense, and they're just trading chances until someone finally put it in the net. Who scored that last goal for Toronto?
Easton Cowan.
Easton Cowan. That's Denver Barkey's good buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? The power play is getting to a point now where it's more than concerning.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, I said in my open tonight, or my 3 keys, the power play can win this game. It's the ultimate key tonight, and they had more than enough chances. I mean, they had a 5-on-3 gifted to them in the third. It didn't even have a good chance. They didn't have a whole lot. They were trying to get a point shot through, but man, I'll tell you what, it leaves a real sour taste in your mouth when you had the majority of the power plays in this game and you couldn't score and put this team to bed with them.
I don't know what happened. In the beginning of the year, the power play looked like it was kind of humming. Things were good. And then I don't know, halfway through the season, it felt like it just fell off a cliff. Halifax!
It started off fine. I mean, it was
Black.
at 15.38%, I think, before tonight's game, and it's going to go down after this one again.
It was horrific. I mean, it was bad. The Rocky Thompson horror show, I don't long for those days, but they got to get this figured out. There's too much talent. Last year especially, it was kind of like, you question some Rocky Thompson things, but this season they have more talent. When you have a guy like Trevor Zegras on the team,
just going to say the same thing, Russ.
You've got to got to figure it out. This isn't a lack of talent and a lack of skill dooming this power play.
Well, there needs to be more finish. That's the issue, right? Like I think that they at times have good zone time on the power play, and I think that they're looking to sometimes make too fine a play.
You know what they're really missing, though, Ant?
A guy at the point.
A true power play defenseman.
Yeah. That's not. It's the thing that's missing.
Yeah,
right?
it's
the
missing
absolutely missing ingredient, right? Yeah. And they try to run it off the half wall, and they get chances. They just don't finish them.
Yeah, they don't finish. Yeah.
Disappointing.
You said they need more finish, though?
Someone's like, well, they scored the other night. They went 1 for 8.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
You said they need more finish?
Yeah.
Can they call up Ruinen? Is he available?
He's not a defenseman, but that's nice.
He's Finnish.
Nice work by you. They have a Finnish guy on the team that plays defense and on the point on the second power play unit.
I'm not sure I know that guy's name.
Ristolainen.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, Olympian. That's Olympian. Rasmus Ristolainen to you. I don't know what the fix is. I really don't. I mean, you could say personnel. But
for me, it's more point shots.
Yeah.
If you can somehow just snap a shot through and then force to go after the rebounds, that's how you rectify and fix a power play. This team tries to be too cute on their power play.
Which is crazy because, at the beginning of the year, we talked about how they were playing like the power play was approaching it the way that they're supposed to.
Right.
And
they were fine.
It really does feel like at some point they just started overthinking it and they fell into some old nasty habits, looking for the perfect pass, hanging on to it too long. There was even a point in the first period where I think I said to you guys, I want to say it was like around 7 minutes left or so in the first period. It felt like the Flyers had been on a power play for 2.5 minutes. It was even strength. They were just controlling the puck in Toronto's end. And it just felt like tonight, you didn't have a ton of opportunities through the first 2 periods or whatever. But man, it felt like they really did well possessing the puck in Toronto's end. They just could not put it in the net.
Yeah.
I guess it happens.
Even their entries have been good.
Yeah.
Like their entries have been really good. Like they get in, they do a good job getting into the zone. It just that I can't figure out for the life of me, but I think they need to do more dirty work on the power play. And that means to somehow execute a play from the half boards to the point and get shots through and then crash the net. That's how that doesn't mean it has to be like that every time because people don't like power plays like that. But that's how you rectify one that's going south. It's been going south for a while.
What do you guys think of the personnel decisions in overtime?
Well, I think TK out. Yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah,
we didn't
that-
bring up. TK out with an upper body injury, did not return for the third period. So that kind of changed things up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, you had Couturier and on one set,
look,
Cates on the other.
People are going to criticize them having Couturier out there at the end with Mishkov. They had a great opportunity. I mean, Hildeby made 2 saves on them.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they had really good opportunity. And then, of course, that leads to the 2-on-1 the other way. Look, that's what 3-on-3 overtime is designed for, right? I mean, that to have these back and forth kind of situations where you have an opportunity at one end and it creates an opportunity at the other if the goalie makes the save. In that spot, I don't sit there and say somebody made a bad play, right? I don't think anybody made a bad play for the Flyers in that case. Hildeby stops them. The puck comes out. Toronto gets it, and they get a 2-on-1. Tavares feeds Cowan, and boom, that's the game-winning goal.
Yeah, and they had a breakaway. Both teams had a breakaway.
in overtime.
Seegers had a breakaway, and so did Toronto. Both stopped.
I think Cowan had the first breakaway.
Was it Cowan again?
I think so, and it was and Vladar made a save on him.
Okay.
Right, the toe save on that one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was Cowan.
I don't know if it was
I get somebody in the comments will tell me if I'm wrong,
that-
but I think it was Cowan as well.
On the whole, right? Like, you look at that overtime. How many times have we watched overtime games where you're just like, man, you always joke, Ant, that it's like a lacrosse game. It's just, one team gets it.
Yeah.
They try to like burn 2 minutes. The other team gets it. They kind of burn 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and then you go off to the shootout. Tonight is really what the overtime is supposed to be. It was
sloppy.
and it was-
Both teams
I mean,
were sloppy.
See you, Mike.
It was sloppy, but like oddly enough, it was kind of fun. Like the wide open nature of it was fun, especially for a game that, like, gotta be honest, it did feel like a slog at points in the first 60
It was
minutes.
a lot of low event hockey tonight.
So
There was.
it was kind of nice to see it open up a little bit in overtime, albeit in a sloppy way. But gotta feel disappointed though, Bundy, don't you? Like they really did control this game for 53.5 minutes, and to walk away with only 1 point when they had 2 very much in their grasp has to be a frustrating result for them.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I would be frustrated if I were a player in there. You controlled most of the game. You at least controlled it with a lead for almost the better part of 2 periods, and then you gave up that shorty to Scott Lawton, both short side high and short-handed. That was a great shot by Lawton.
Yeah, it really was. And then you know what else Lawton did? I don't think anybody will really give him credit for it. He won 2 really big face-offs in overtime.
In overtime, yeah, they put him out just for the draws.
Just for the draws. He did them, and he won them. Beat Couturier one time, and he beat Dvorak the other.
Yep.
And then he went right off the ice. So he won 2 really important draws.
So what you're saying is Scotland's exactly what this team could use.
There you go, right?
What would it cost them to get him back? A first-round pick?
Grabenkin. We keep the first.
Yeah.
So, the tricky thing here, too, is now you look ahead at what's to come. And when you had those 2 points in your grasp, now you look at what's about to happen. They play 2 games coming up, both of them at home against Tampa.
Yeah.
They're
weird.
in here Saturday, and then they have a day off, and then Monday night.
Yeah.
So both games against Tampa. Tampa currently has the second most points in the Eastern Conference. They lead the Atlantic Division. Then after that, you take on a Buffalo Sabres team that has certainly, of late,
They just beat the Rangers tonight.
They've been great. I think they're 9-1-0 in their last 10.
Well,
Does that sound right?
They won 10 in a row, and then they lost 1, and then they won the game back again. So I think they've won 11 of their last 12.
So Buffalo is really hot. They will probably be just as hot or close to it the next time the Flyers play them up in Buffalo. Then they take on the Penguins, home against the Rangers. Now, the Rangers have had a pretty abysmal year. And then you're out in Vegas against the Golden Knights. So it's not exactly an easy stretch coming up. It's a pretty damn tough stretch.
It is. The Flyers have really fared poorly against Toronto. I think they're now 1-11-2 in their last 14 games.
Really?
Yeah. Let me check that. I put
brutal.
that stat on my my keys to the game tonight. I'm just got to try to find it here.
Now, positives from tonight. I think Barkey.
Yeah, here it is. Here, dating
Okay.
back to November 10th, 2021, the Flyers, including tonight, they are now 1-11-2 in head-to-head meetings with Toronto. The lone win came March 19th, 2024. In that game, the Flyers held on for a 4-3 victory after a 3-0 lead nearly slipped away.
So the Leafs have won 13 of 14 against the Flyers?
Yes, sir.
Holy smokes. I didn't know that.
That's pretty brutal.
That is pretty crazy.
you look at faceoffs too. People are talking about the faceoffs in the comments. Mr. Bones says 16 of 51 on faceoffs, not good enough.
Yeah, that's not a good night. But and look, faceoffs are important. I think we overblow them sometimes.
But that's a pretty massive disparity.
That's a big disparity. Yeah.
All right. So positives on the night, I would say that overall Vladar played a good game.
Yeah, he was fine. I mean, he made some really nice saves when he needed to. Just didn't get the last one. I mean, it's not his fault. I mean, it's a 2-on-1 breakaway in overtime. So, yeah, he had a pretty good game. Yeah. They didn't finish. They had opportunities early.
He had a good game until he got
hurt. We don't know what happened. Yeah.
Barkey?
Not really. This was probably he had a breakaway opportunity right off the bat.
I think he had moments in this game.
And then after that it wasn't much. I didn't notice much with Barkey after that tonight.
Drew the one penalty.
What's that?
He drew the one penalty.
Yeah, he did.
It was kind of a pest. I'd say it was like the biggest standout game. Any positives you can see coming out of this one? Bundy, you got anybody that you thought kind of stood out
tonight? It's kind of an evenly played. I thought Owen Tippett was okay at times tonight. I thought he actually played pretty well. I thought Barkey was kind of around it again a little bit too. I thought Dvorak and Zegras were pretty decent in this game.
Dvorak had the really nice feed to Konechny on the goal.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it was it was a very low event type of hockey game.
Yeah.
Sure.
And there was also, we didn't even mention, they thought that the Flyers thought they had a second goal that looked like it went in, but there was on video replay, they couldn't determine where the puck was. And so the call on the ice, which was no goal, stood. But I mean, to me, it kind of looked like he caught it in his glove of his waffle hand.
Yeah.
And that was in the net. That's what it looked like to me. We only got to see like the replay that's on the big board in here where we're at. We don't get to see like the real good replays. So, but from where I was sitting and looking at the big board replay, that's what it looked like to me. I don't know for certain, but they did not overturn the call on the ice.
You know what was frustrating? And I think, Ant, you might have been the one who called this beforehand.
What's that?
It was a real big emotional game against Anaheim.
Yeah.
And it just felt like the guys were kind of wiped. It didn't feel like they did not get up for this game nearly like they did against Anaheim.
So there was a debate, the internal debate in my head about what to do with calling this game. I went Flyers 3-2. I kind of thought that they would get through this one and then have the letdown against Tampa, the first game against Tampa on Saturday. Look, you get a point out of this one. It's not the worst outcome, but you probably had a point that was available for you and you let it get away from you. And they can't have that happen too often. Now you got 2 tough games coming up against a really good team. You're going to have to find a way to get a couple points in those next 2 as well.
All right.
I always feel like when you play a team twice like that, it's usually a split.
Yeah, usually.
Somehow it ends up like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Flyers can, maybe they'll have a great Saturday and Monday night and steal 4 points off Tampa.
Be swell.
But it's just really hard in a short period of time to beat the same team twice.
All right.
That's it.
You guys will be back Saturday. I will not be.
Yeah.
Russ is going on a European vacation.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Lots to do. Lots of business to be done. I will try to check in as best I can.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
We'll see. I might try to jump on a press row show. It'll be like 1 a.m.
What are they, 6 hours ahead?
Yeah, it'll be like 1 a.m. when you go. Wait, what time is? It's a 7:30 game on Monday.
7:30 Monday?
No, sorry, it's a 7 on Monday. 7:30 on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's
an away game.
That's a road game.
Let's see. Can I check in for any of these games? Saturday the 17th. That'll be 7 o'clock where I'm at. Flyers, Rangers. I might try to check in for one press row show.
There you go.
From either Vienna or Barcelona. I'll let you know. All right. Since I won't see you guys Saturday, real quick, thoughts on the Eagles game? Do you have any early predictions here?
I'm going with my son.
Eagles are going to win.
I think the Eagles are going to win, but I think it's going to be a close game.
I have it 27-23.
Wow, that is close.
Yeah. Eagles 27-23.
Intern?
If Lane Johnson doesn't play,
that could change.
That changes a lot.
Yeah, that could change things.
I'll say Eagles 21-17.
I think they blow the Niners' doors off.
The Niners were rolling until last week. They were rolling really good.
The problem here is if the Eagles had a competent offensive coordinator, I think this would be an absolute bloodbath because the Niners don't have a linebacker with a pulse.
Yeah, well, Eric Kendricks.
They could get Intern Andrew to play linebacker, and they might be better off. But Kevin Patullo not exactly the best OC in the league. I still think it's like a 10-point game.
We'll see.
You were talking about this on your show today with Mike Missinelli, but like if the Eagles were to lose and Sirianni will not let go of Patullo, time for a new head coach.
Yeah, well, I agree.
What?
If the Eagles lose to the 49ers and Nick Sirianni will not part ways with Kevin Patullo at the end of the year, it's time to find a new head coach.
That's unbelievable.
Wally
You
60
You're gonna
40 says
make
Lane's
me
playing, which is
Franklin
great.
myself here.
You want to keep Kevin Patullo?
No, but I don't want to
Oh,
get rid of
there
the
you
head coach. The guy that's never finished under 500, never missed the playoffs.
Listen to this apologist.
I had a real funny story before the game. Danny
Yeah?
Briere comes up to me. He was doing an interview with Jason Martinez. He says to me, "Hey, I met and spent some time with your son-in-law last week in Minnesota."
Really?
I'm like, "Will?" He goes, "Yeah, Will Fries." He goes, "I saw him. He had the long, the thing you put on your leg just to tighten things up a little bit.
Compression?
Yeah, compression.
bands?
Yeah. And Danny said, "Tell him thanks a lot. I really enjoyed speaking to him." So Danny was for the World Juniors, and they went over and did a tour of the Vikings practice complex.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and met with some of their people just to get a look at everything,
Yeah.
I guess. And so he was there, and he asked to speak to Will because he knew him through me.
That's
So,
really cool.
Yes, my son-in-law. So I thought that was a really cool thing by Danny. Danny's a really good guy, man. He really is.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's great stuff. All right. Well, nobody have anything else?
No,
We're
that's
all
it.
good?
No,
All right.
all good.
All right, so the rest of the squad will be back on Saturday for the Press Row Show. That is a 7 o'clock start, first of 2 games at home, back-to-back against the Tampa Bay Lightning, so that'll be a 6:30 start. And then Anthony made this announcement during one of the intermissions. Wednesday's Snow the Goalie radio in Warrington at Chickies and Pete's is going to have 2 guests from the Phantoms. Remind me who they are.
Carson Bjarnason and Oliver Bonk.
Both of whom we interviewed for the Dev Camp series.
Yeah, they'll be coming down. They'll be coming down to hang out with us for the show.
That'll be nice to
Yeah,
hear from those guys.
it
So-
will be.
And if you have nothing going on Wednesday night, come on out to Chickies and Pete's in Warrington. Maybe get a picture. I don't know. We don't want to guarantee that these guys are going to take pictures. But maybe,
He may.
I would think.
Right? You never know.
Good chance. So, all right. Big thank you to everybody who tuned in live
Thanks,
on YouTube,
everybody.
Facebook, and X, and those of you who listen in the podcast feed after the fact on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts. Until Saturday night, this has been the Press Row Show. Thanks for watching. Talk to all of you very soon.